All right, Gilbert Orozco. Brenda Rodriguez. Brenda. Thank you. Anthony Cochran. Good morning. Juan Castaneda, custody. Zayden Ali. How do you pronounce your first name? Zayden. All right, thank you. Luis De Leon. Sorry. Page 3. Ah, Kevin Curiel. Thank you. Anthony Villarreal. Okay. Christopher Weezer, custody. Rodney Brown. Rodney Dwayne Brown. Tony Howe, custody. Christopher Weezer, custody. Jason Giovanni Bustos. Jason Giovanni Bustos. Ah, thank you. Ramiro Guzman, custody. Nadab Garcia. Nadab Abisi Garcia. I know I did too much with that middle name. I added some vowels. Noah Gonzalez. Thank you. Dean Delgado, custody. Dylan Bell, custody. Ziana Para. How do you pronounce the first name?
Ziania Maritza Para.
Okay. Brittany Brown. Rudy Luna. Thank you. All right. Is there anyone who came in late or your name was not called? What's your name?
No, page 1, Judge.
Okay. Page 1?
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, thank you. I skipped that name. All right. Anyone else? All right. Attorneys, you all know the rules. Please confer. We're going to have a jury up here shortly. Thank you. But Bashan, so today I'm well rested. It wasn't as hot outside, so maybe I won't feel so drained like my mom said. She's like, you all were all drained from the heat. And I'm like, you're right, Mom. We were.
We're busy this weekend.
Yes, I did do a lot of running this weekend, as my grandmother would say. Yeah. But we're, whew.
Nadab Garcia. Noah Javier Gonzalez. Ready for Hardo?
Yeah, good trick. Whenever I first started out.
Hardy. Luis De Leon. Rodney Brown. Nadab Abasai. Brown.
That's why I say check.
Okay.
People keep saying that it's 5 cases, so that I can keep it, but I have interest in promotion for its own. So the trials don't matter unless the trials sell it.
Well, that makes sense. That's one thing that's one thing that is very well. That's not the only part about this.
Nietzsche said, Yeah. Reveals itself when it said. Put it up or down.
Oh, no. Jason.
Noah Gonzalez?
It doesn't ring a bell because it's not ring a bell, it's his case.
I'll be with him.
I don't know.
Well, I would like to reappoint myself.
Yeah.
Went to a house. That ring a bell?
Yes,
That one.
I believe so.
Yeah. Right. Oh. There's two. We saw and.
Because some of them.
So to get some bill.
Yeah, he was bringing home.
Okay. Drop it off. Oh, cool, cool. Yeah, I mean. Okay, so actually.
Oh, no, he wanted to see what the prior offer was. If there's any notes there.
Yeah, Greg's gonna be taking more CBD, I don't know. Something like this. Maybe this is your. Oh, this is. Well, probably. We already talked about it.
I know. Had your opportunity to go Bexar and blew it. So. Chelsea.
Your Honor, how are you?
All right, how are you doing?
All right, I love that picture. I don't know how long you've had it there, maybe forever, and I've never noticed it.
No, not forever.
It's very nice.
Yes, my mom loves that picture.
Did your mom pick it out for you?
No,
She just loves it.
she just loves it. Yeah. She's like, you need a frame. And I was like, yeah, that frame's gonna be very expensive.
Well, I think it looks fine like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, the framing something that big costs, you know, more than way more than the paint.
Mhm. I'd have to have a barbecue plate.
I like that canvas look where it just goes around the edge. I think that looks fine.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm gonna
You're
tell my mom
fine.
you said so.
No, don't tell her that. She'll think. You want to see no.
So who do you have with you today?
I'm sorry, I thought you had that for. This is
Hi.
Kelsey.
Hi, Kelsey.
Hi, nice to meet you, Judge.
Kelsey is a law student, gonna enter our profession, Judge. She's clerking for us.
Yes, ma'am.
What's your last name, Jones?
Jones.
Sorry, that's how close I am. to
See,
her.
you're close, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just used to Kelsey.
Yeah.
But anyway, she just, you know how that, you remember that exuberance when you were in law school and you got to go to the courthouse? You remember that?
I'm
Did you
trying
ever
to
have
think
that?
back to that.
It wasn't that long ago.
No, it was,
Judge.
yeah, I'm like thinking years. I will tell you, it was a terrifying experience though. Because even though when I started out, because I did the clinic at St. Mary's,
Mhm.
you had your bar card. But somebody else was signing their name to everything, but you were still the student attorney. So there was sort of a great safety net. Then after I first started practicing and I got my first case, it was sort of terrifying because you're not practicing on anybody anymore. You're signing your name and everything comes back to you. You're like
Yeah.
heart rush.
Oh, well, no wonder your first experience was traumatizing. That is so sound dramatic.
So what year you in?
I am going into my second year, Judge.
Oh, awesome. Once you get to the second year, it's
Yeah, smooth
quick.
sailing.
oh yeah, and it moves very quickly.
Yes, Judge.
And then you're studying for the bar,
Yeah.
which do you know, I think I want to say in Louisiana, because COVID happened
Mhm.
and anybody who graduated, they immediately
Became lawyers?
became lawyers.
Is that right?
But they told some people, hey, if you still want to take the bar, you can, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they were lining up for that.
Oh no, I think, the gunners, as we call them, I'm sure they're like, I want to be number one, let me take it. But some people were upset. They were saying the reason why it was done, because one of the people who made the decision, I think their niece or granddaughter or something was a part of that graduating class. And they're like, no, I wasn't even a part of the vote. So
Interesting.
for anybody who wanted to be an attorney in Louisiana at that time, that was one of the things. You're like, yay. And I'm sure the people were coming up behind them like, curse if I would have just
Oh,
been here a year
yes,
earlier.
exactly. That's just not right.
Oh, yeah. I honestly, I don't even think the bar exam is a good indication of how you would do as an attorney. It would be better if your first year in law school, you get the basics.
Mhm.
And then year 2 and 3, you practice under an attorney. The only problem with that, what attorney would you practice under, And they could have you practice on an attorney who does civil, practice on an attorney who does criminal or who does taxes or whatever. That will give you a better idea, I think, of what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because there are some people who started out 100% want to do criminal law. Then they did it for about 6 months. They're like, I hate this. And then they moved to civil.
So I kind of like the way the MDs do rotations.
Mhm.
You figure out what's for you, what you hate. No, I agree. I wonder if they've ever studied the correlation between bar rate, success, or how well you do it.
Mhm.
And I bet there's no relation.
No.
None. It's all memorization.
Oh, yeah.
What does that teach?
Oh, it doesn't teach you
Sit
anything.
down for 8 hours a day and memorize.
Well, you know what someone told me, because studying for the bar, I got very sick. So I ended up with the flu. I ended up with a sinus infection and ear infection.
Oh, no.
And the part I missed, the practice part I missed was constitutional law. And I was just like, that'll be fine. There's not too much you can add to constitutional law for a fact pattern because it is what it is. And then criminal law, I wasn't concerned about because I love criminal law. And so we were studying. And I was sitting there putting drops in my ear, studying like this. And what calmed me down was a couple came in, and I want to say it was this is going to be their 5th time trying to pass the bar.
Oh, wow.
And I think
Oh my
after
God.
that time, if you don't pass it, you have to go back and repeat your first year.
Wow.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, I said, I'm going to be praying that you guys,
Yeah.
pass it. And so then right after they came in, a guy came in and he's like, Stephanie, I'm like, yeah. He's like, you know what you need to pass the bar? I'm like, what? He's like, do you have a C in you? He's like, because basically you need a C on every day. He's like, it doesn't even have to be a high C. Do you have a, I'm like, I have a C in me. I'm good to go. And so thank God for that person. And then there was another person because I didn't take oil and gas because you have so many courses that you can take. And some people were taking oil and gas because a lot of people were in the oil field and they were just becoming an attorney for that. And so I was trying to study the oil and gas, just study some questions because I hadn't taken oil and gas. I knew about property rights. And one of the people from my section, which was section C, he came in, he's like, Stephanie, let me explain oil and gas to you. So there was a racer board. He's like, this is a derrick. This is this, this is this. You can't get gas from here. You can't get the oil from here. And if you get oil from here, there's other repercussions. He gave me an oil and gas course in about 20 minutes.
Wow.
And there was an oil and gas question on the essay. And then I read it and I was just smiling because exactly what he told me was that one question. And I will tell you, I wrote more about the oil and gas question, even than the criminal law question. I was just like, yay. And then when all else fails, because I didn't take commercial instruments either, but I was like, yeah, I knew about checks. I guess people don't write checks anymore, but I knew about checks. So I took that. And one of my professors in the back of my mind, he said, really, the bar exam is they don't want you to do anything unethical. They're testing that. I said, I 100%, I know the answer to this question about 80%. I said, and then let me throw in some ethical things so that people know I'm not gonna do unethical things. So that's what you have to remember about the bar.
Thank
What they're
you.
looking for.
Yeah,
Thank you,
but
Jeff.
I think they changed. I think they changed the way the test was because I think the first day was
Yeah.
multi,
They changed it all around.
and then the middle was essay, and then the third one was that civil procedure or something?
It's, state stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And let me just tell you about the third day,
Mhm.
because I ended up selling Westlaw so that I could afford their bar prep because I didn't have money.
Mhm.
I didn't even have books in law school,
Yeah.
but because I was on a budget. But they would teach you third day. They're like, Stephanie, you got to come to the third day, even if you don't have money for it. But at the third day, I think that cost $250. I'm like, I don't have $250 for that. So one of my friends, Betty Hill, she took the course and she's like, Stephanie, I got you. I'm going to go in there and I'll take notes for you. And I'm like, thank you, Betty.
That's great.
And sure enough,
Yes.
everything that was there, that is what was on the third day. Third day, it took everybody. If you studied, it took you like 30 minutes to complete it, but you completed it so quickly, you're just like, should I leave? This seems weird. And then you spend months waiting for your results.
Yeah.
That's the worst part. It's the waiting.
Oh, yeah, because I took the February bar
Oh, wow.
and I had one more law class. Well, I was still in law school, but they allowed you to take it if you had so many credits.
Mm.
So I took the February bar because I was like, if I don't pass, I can still take it in the summer. But I'm like, I want to pass, right? And it was so funny because you're waiting for your results. It's, to me, with the bubble questions, they should have been able to just shoot that in a machine and tell you what your score
Right.
is.
Yeah.
So you could have some idea. So it got to the point where you're waiting and waiting. And at first waiting is bad, but then you're like, maybe it's best that I not know. I can just
Yeah.
And then everybody started calling me because that was in the day where not everybody had a computer in their room and they were not really posting on the computer. So you had to go to the law library.
Yeah.
Oh,
And so people kept calling me, hey, you can have the results yet? You have the results yet? And I was like, you know what? Stop calling me. And then somebody else called me, hey, do you have the results? I'm like, you know what? I'm in bed. I'm asleep. Stop calling me. And they're like, well, we just wanted to say congratulations.
Oh,
As
wow.
far- And
That's
by
awesome.
then it was 11 p.m. and I live in the dorms. So even people from different areas of the college, like the undergrads, the grad students, they heard about it. They were knocking on my door. So my entire dorm, we were all celebrating. And then all of us were like super poor law students.
Yeah.
So the people who hadn't taken the bar yet, they scraped money together and they took me and my friend Betty, who were I was studying with, because I was concerned, did Betty pass? And they took us out to eat and they got us flowers from HEB, the tulips.
Oh.
And we were just like, oh my gosh, this feels so great.
Best day of your life.
Best
Yeah,
day of
it's
your
like,
life.
oh my goodness.
That's
So,
great. We
If
get
you
good
can,
friends.
yeah, if you can take the bar in February, I would recommend doing it, because there is nothing like walking across the stage and the dean was like, congratulations on passing the bar. And you're just like, instead of, hey, I've graduated, yay, now I have to
Study.
take the bar.
Yeah.
So I always recommend people taking in February. And even if you don't pass, which I know you will, you'll get a chance to have an overview of it. And once you have that overview, you'll say to yourself, man, they should have just gave this at the beginning of the law school. We'd be set.
Right.
But yeah, it's fun. But if ever you want to come in, sit in, come down. If you want any advice that I have,
I would
I'll
love
give
to.
it.
I would love to, Judge.
Okay, sure. Awesome. Well, come down anytime.
Thank
We're
you.
here Monday through Friday. We actually are going to be in jury trial today unless all these cases work out. So if you want to come and sit in on a trial, we do jury selection today.
Okay.
And then Wednesday, testimony will start.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I'll
Sure.
definitely take you up on that sometime.
Okay, awesome. You should take a picture with
Joey on the.
with Joey.
Thank you, Judge.
He's constantly looking at me no matter where I move.
Yeah, can't get rid of him.
Let me tell you, his eyes follow me and Angelini's eyes follow me.
Oh, but Angelini looks like you're about to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, hey.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Judge Boyd is, before she was on the bench, we go back a long ways.
We go back long.
Very, very well respected lawyer. Very.
Oh, thank you.
Great.
For you. I ended up trying the case with Joey. I was sitting with Pat Hancock. I don't know if you remember that
Was
case.
this a murder?
Yes.
Was that? Oh.
One thing that Cornelius Cox told me when I was starting out,
Mhm.
he's like, Stephanie. I'm like, what, Cornelius? He said, you know, as a defense attorney, you should win every case. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, we should win all our cases. I'm like, give me the secret to that.
Yeah.
He's like, if we can write our own facts.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're right, we can, Cornelius, we cannot write our own facts. So remember that. You can win every case if you could write your own facts, but you can't. Yeah. But this profession, it's great. And I will tell you, sometimes you're gonna have clients who are very angry with you. And you're gonna think, oh my gosh, why am I in this profession? Because really criminal law is very hard because you see sometimes the worst,
I'm used to that.
situations. But you probably will have a client who will not appreciate you. You'll have like 8 clients like that. And then you'll see the 9th client and the 9th client will appreciate you. And then you'll be like, I can go on.
It's all
Yes.
worth it. That's,
yeah.
that 9th one makes it worth it. You're absolutely right.
Oh, yeah. Because
And it's always the ones that you do the most for that complain the loudest.
oh, that is
That's
so
true. Yeah, I worked corrections and detention for 4 years,
Mhm.
did pretrial supervision for a year. I know that lesson, and it's always the
yeah.
ones that you put the most time in that are the most ungrateful, but you still gotta do it. you know.
Well, you know, I learned that when you do a lot of things for your clients and it's free, they tend not to appreciate it.
Yeah,
Because there are some clients I would have, well, not really some, all of my clients, if I'm just coming in to get a reset,
mhm,
I was like, they're like, oh, we'll pay you to come. I'm like, no, I'm just coming in, talking, getting you a reset, we're done. Some people appreciated that, some people did not.
that's interesting.
Okay, could I have Kevin Curiel and state on Kevin Curiel? The last time we were here, it was said that a criminal history was needed of Moses Leal. Do y'all have that?
I don't, I believe we have everything, Judge. I'm seeing notes of that.
Okay. All right, so today is plea deadline date.
Right, we just need a reset for trial.
All right, state, how long do you expect this trial to last? It's a failure to stop and render aid.
3 days.
Oh.
possibly 4 days.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, for criminal trial division, I need a jury trial date, 3 days. All right, we'll be back on September 3rd. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused. All right, thank you. You may be excused.
Judge, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Judge. It was
Oh,
a
you're
pleasure to meet
welcome.
you.
Oh, before you guys leave, state on this case, if you could do an acknowledgement of discovery, if you'll sign the acknowledgement of
I'll
discovery.
do that for a leave.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Good meeting you. Have a great one.
Yes, nice to meet you.
It's. He was indicted on what's third. He was going to get a credit time served that he spent at the county jail. He accepted the arguments that he said.
Don't leave without signing.
So he served his time.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning.
How we doing today?
Oh, I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
Doing all right. Doing all right for a Tuesday.
Oh, you know what? Tuesday, guess what? We're closer to Friday than we were yesterday.
Yep,
So how can we not be happy?
right? Give thanks. Today's the day.
Anthony Villarreal, come forward. Hello. Hey, it's looking better.
Clear jail stuff.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And you know what? You should put, I'm gonna remember the name of it, but it helps with healing and scars.
Running this morning, I put you for it. I probably gotta get it.
No,
It was hilarious.
oh, no, 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 no. Neosporin is a bad idea. In some cases. All right, so, state, were you able to tender an offer?
Well, Judge, it's yes and no, because I'm trying to get hold of the victim. We've had contact before. I just want to be able to get one more try because I believe it is going to get worked out if I talk to the victim. But I have to talk to the victim before I make a legitimate offer.
All right, and how much time are you requesting?
Just a couple of weeks, Judge. I mean, we had contact before and I tried to get in contact yesterday. And it just didn't happen because Mr. Gold had contacted me about an offer.
All right, is July 30th too soon?
That's today's, no, I think that'd be fine.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Anthony Villarreal, can you do a recall for July 30th? And are you employed?
Yes.
What is your work schedule?
So I'm like a realtor, so I can flexible.
Okay, all right, then we'll see you on July 30th. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
So thank you.
All right, thank you.
My brother-in-law sent me a clip of you, Judge. So do you know this one? So I love her. I love her.
Thank you so much for the
Listen.
support.
I know. I thought it was funny. I was like, yeah.
I try.
I was like, you should.
Charles, have a good day.
You too, young lady. Some 30. We got it. Thank you. There we go. Everyone wants to do. Here, I'll meet you outside.
Juan Carlos Rios. Gilbert Orozco. Oh, that's been reset. Can I see the file on Gilbert Orozco, please?
Oh, you can find that when you're.
All right, and what date did we give it?
Then they need to.
All right, state, Gilbert Orozco, that's being recalled for the 18th. All right, Andrew Orozco,
Morning, Judge.
good morning.
How are you?
All right, how are you doing?
Oh, doing great.
Have you done any, love your tie.
Thank you.
Have you done any traveling?
Not until the end of August.
Ah,
We're going to Oaxaca.
going where?
Oaxaca.
Oh, what are you gonna be doing there?
Wedding. And then after there, I'm taking 5 days off. I'm going on a post honeymoon for myself.
Hey,
Too.
that'll be awesome. Okay, you know, sometimes you need that alone time. All right. We are set for jury trial, so a jury will be up here.
Was confirmed with the state. I thought they're gonna move us to the August 12th docket so we can do it in impact court.
It's a criminal trial petition.
Correct.
All right, and is Mary Diaz, Mary Diaz is family violence, okay. All right, what date?
August 12th, right?
August 12th.
August 12th.
All right, so you're gonna be recalled for trial on August 12th. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You have any questions about anything?
No, ma'am.
And they're gonna take them directly there, right? To impact. Or
Yes.
we come here for no, there.
No, they'll take him to impact. Criminal Trial Division, on Andrew Orozco, I need an acknowledgement of discovery.
We didn't file one last time?
No, it's not in the file.
That's fine.
Oh, yes, please.
What
Yeah.
is the case number?
It's 2023 CR 11490. Sir, you had a question?
I did a motion on Discovery to see.
Well, let me explain something to you.
I don't miss, don't, you got it, miss. You're good. I'm good. I'm good.
All right, you're good because your
Stephanie?
attorney is your attorney.
I like my turn.
And now we can just do another one.
Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
I'll get it signed and turned in
All
right
right,
now.
thank you. All right, Deputy Laura, we are finished with Mr. Orozco.
Let's go.
It's okay.
And we also need one for, and State on Orozco, he has 2 cases. Thank you. Rodney Brown. Nabib Garcia. Hello, you need to be on the front row. Stay there in the front row. Jose Carmona. Come forward. Hello,
Good morning, Your Honor.
good morning. So, Mr. Carmona, today is your deadline date. Are you requesting a trial?
Not yet, Your Honor. We've been conferring. When we were here last time, we announced that we had completed discovery because when we checked the dash cam that I had been missing had been uploaded. It turns out the dash cam that was uploaded was rear facing as opposed to front facing. We have not been able to coordinate getting that through e-discovery. The prosecutor has agreed to make a CD of that.
All right, let me ask you this. How long is that video?
It's not, I would imagine not that long.
What is not that long?
I think we had a estimate of gigabytes, or whatever.
Slightly more than 1 gigabyte, Your Honor. What that translates to in minutes, I do not know.
All right, let's see. And you said 1 gigabyte?
Yes, Your Honor, 1.02 to be specific.
Oh, that won't be that long. Yeah. So if you all have it for him, if you all can bring it down, will you be able to do that today?
How do you mean?
Well, I mean, do you have it on your computer available for him to see now?
Yes.
All right. All right, so come back after you've watched.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Deputy Law, I'll be right back.
We're working on it. He's in order. Shows up in a suit usually anyways. Hoping everything's all right.
All right.
All right, everyone, please be seated.
Search warrant. Files.
Christopher Escobar. Come forward.
All the way to the.
Hello. Hi, your attorney is currently in jury trial in Gillespie County. So of course, he can't be in two places at the same time. We're going to recall you. Ms. Ferguson, recall this for August 1st, and we're going to recall you for August 1st and get you a jury trial date. All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused. Hello. Brittany Brown.
There's no answer.
Ziania Para.
No answer there either.
All right,
I reach out.
thank you.
Mr. Beal. Yeah. Thank you.
Juan Carlos Rios.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Yes.
I've spoken with my client. He thought that his court date was tomorrow. So he's in Canyon Lake where he lives and works. And I can get him here today, but I didn't know what you wanted to do before.
Yeah, I mean, did he sign a reset form that says July 16th on it? I think he
believe
did.
so, because it was, we got the same reset form on the.
Yeah, he
plea
needs
date.
to be here today.
Okay,
All right.
no problem.
All right, thank you.
Is it more convenient to the court if he could zoom in? Because it's
No.
gonna be a while.
No,
Okay.
he needs to be here.
Understood.
All right, thank you.
First, sir. You missed it. You missed it.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, many people ask him, he is not interested. Yeah, yesterday he said, we're still
I said, how's it going? It's he's in jail.
Oh, it's not a hoax, I'm interested. That was my first reaction downstairs. Wow, what works you really find me? Wow. Yeah.
You're taking them back?
Oh, and like, oh, the shot with like secret service people.
I've seen the photos. I know that.
Well, no, that's why. 100%.
Brenda Walker.
Nice.
Yes. He was in jail like a week ago, so. I like some.
All I'm gonna say, do like the video is a trash. It's like the opposite. I can't look. It's not really called. Oh, yeah, all really excited.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'd rather you remain silent because the paperwork and win and I just was. I'll ask, I'll address, I'll tell the court, hey, here's our intentions, ask for this. Or ask us to this with that, and that. It's like, I fix up a new offense, or if she doesn't, for whatever reason, then she's subject to full registration. That way the ball's on our court. That's all. Certainly, she's gonna just say that anyway. I know, I saw this morning.
Heavy odds on.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I mean, you know this. And now they sort of. It's all changed up now. One thing we have every year is draw. I don't know. Yes.
Yeah.
Was there any company every once in a while? I believe that they-
If you're close,
Yeah.
if you're close.
Box people.
That whole.
You gotta remember Tennessee.
Yeah.
They had fires. Okay, I didn't come home. Yeah. It has to be. Yeah, I don't
So. I always had a thing about it.
All right.
All right, everyone, please be seated. State family violence, did you all finish the paperwork on Diaz?
Yes,
Okay,
I don't know if they turned it in yet or if they're finishing something before they turn it in, if they're working with a judge.
all right, if you can call them and let them know that that needs to be done ASAP.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Rudy Luna. Hello,
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. Just one moment. Yes.
So Mr. Luna is here for compliance hearing, Judge. The supplemental report that was sent in to the court gave an overall status of his probation and also gave an overall status of where he is with his ignition interlock device. And speaking to Mr. Luna, I know that the court has a record of a high breath violation that was done on 5/19, and as the supplemental report indicates, he says that he was taking NyQuil because he was ill. And we kind of talked about what he needs to do when he's ill. We've talked about mouthwashing and so forth. In the report, it also states that he was skipping tests on the weekends at one point. We spoke about that. He does understand what needs to happen this going forward. And I did get a little bit more information in regards to having his wife test for him. I don't think that was necessarily the case, but she does use some vehicles as well. The engine starts indicate that he is testing at least 3 times a day. He does not have any rolling retest refusals and so forth. I just wanted to bring up to the court that he has completed his DWI intervention, his victim impact panel, and he does have 2 sessions left on his intensive outpatient treatment. His UAs, he's been taken monthly, have all been negative, and the field visits were completed, the 3-month field visits were completed with no issues.
All right. So what is with the supplemental report I received? Why are you skipping tests on the weekends?
Wasn't that much, it was only on Easter.
I'm
But,
sorry, what?
It was only on Easter, the one time, but I was there at the house, I didn't use the car or anything, and I was just cooking and I just forgot. But he did get on me about that, and I started doing it every day.
So probation, do you see any issues? That's why we're here for issues, but it appears that there are not issues.
Judge, I'm not gonna say there aren't any issues because he's on probation, right? But I'm saying that, I think there might be some communication, issues between him and his officer. And, from everything that Mr. Luna and I've discussed, we seem to be on the right page on how his case is going. There are some issues or, some concerns that he would like the court to look further into, but they're not really like issues or concerns, they're just requests.
All right, what are the
So-
requests?
So the first request, Judge, is his community service hours. Since he's done with his classes and he's gonna be finishing up his intensive outpatient treatment. His community service hours, he is requesting either to be able to pay some of those hours and or he does volunteer work with a church, CYO with coaching softball. Asking for the court to consider possibly giving him credit for that. The other request, which I'll talk to him after this hearing, is in regards to his occupational license. Didn't see anything in the file or anything in the system in regards to that, and his lawyer has requested that information. So we're gonna just direct him to his lawyer on that.
Yes, yes, with the occupational license, you need to speak to your attorney and they'll file the appropriate documents. Now, with regards to the community service hours, this softball that you're coaching, is that at the church?
Yes, ma'am, it's for the church. Oh, I do it for the church and I do it for Little League.
Do it for the church and what?
And Little League,
Okay. And are they aware of your history?
yes, ma'am, because they do background check.
Okay. All right, I'll give him community service hours credits for soft ball. So for every 2 hours of softball, he'll get an hour of community service. Is there anything else?
Judges, I would ask that you just, strongly encourage Mr. Luna to test when appropriate. Just follow the rules for the body.
All right, let me encourage you. This is my encouragement for you. My encouragement is that if you submit or there's another issue with your probation, we're not going to have a compliance hearing. There's going to be a motion to revoke file. And in that motion to revoke, according to your plea bargain agreement, you're looking at 2 years in the prison. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
This NyQuil business, that's nonsense. You should know better. And you know that NyQuil has alcohol in it. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So there should not be another positive UA. If there's another positive UA, we're not having a compliance hearing. A motion to revoke is going to be filed. You have an attorney. They will take you into custody. Either you will come over dressed in orange or either you'll be on bond and I will hear the motion. And if I find it true, you're potentially looking at 2 years in the prison. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything that you do not understand with regards to the court's instructions? And with regards to this communication with your probation officer, my suggestion to you is communicate openly. If you feel as though you're not being understood or you don't understand that person and what they're requesting, let them know. I don't understand. And if they say something to you and you still don't understand, take it as to what you're understanding, but repeat it back to them. For example, if I tell you, you need to be here at 9 a.m. on Tuesday. Well, no, let's say 9 a.m. on Wednesday. Then you would come back to me and you would say, so my understanding is I'm supposed to be here tomorrow at 9 a.m. Is that correct? And if it isn't, they'll tell you no. If it is, they'll be like, yes, that's correct. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Probation, is there anything else? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And for Sean? Yes.
Me?
Yeah, you have something for me? I saw you coming. Are you all ready?
We turned our paperwork in, yes.
Okay, awesome. As soon as they,
I also have the bond matter from yesterday, that my client was in jail.
all right, if you'll have
I
them.
turned
pull
that
it-
in also, so.
Yeah,
when
as
you
soon
get
as
to
they
us,
give it to me, we'll
we're
take
ready.
it up.
Okay. All right. You're good.
All right. Juan Carlos Rios. All right, just have a seat. We'll take you up when your attorney is ready. Bashan. Bashan, can I see you for one moment?
That's your mic.
Yes, no, I don't have it up here. Let me ask you this, Charles.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a copy of the bond? Motion?
The bond, I gave it to you yesterday.
Yeah, it's in the mosaic file. They're trying to find the file.
Okay. Might have another.
Yeah. Yes, because I mean, something's gonna go. Have them come up at 11:30. No problem. Can I see the parties on, Mary Diaz? Oh, and Miss Diaz? All right. Court is calling, and everyone please whisper, we're on the record. Court is calling 2020 CR 11865, State of Texas versus Mary Diaz. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Alan Jackson.
Defense.
Charles Bunk and Mr. Tochi will be joining us momentarily. Jim Tochi momentarily join us.
All right, and are you Miss Diaz?
Yes, sir.
All right, and the co-counsel in this case is Mr. Toshi. Do you have any objection to continuing with only Mr. Bont being present? Counsel, did you review all the discovery with your client?
Absolutely.
And have you received all the discovery?
We have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Diaz, did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We did.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Diaz, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of murder? The range of punishment is 5 years to 99 years or life in prison with up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered an agreement will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, off the record. Counsels, this part
Yes,
needs to be above the line.
Do we want us to just put an arrow or do you want us to write it up there?
Probably best if you all write it out there and y'all
that's
initial
fine.
it.
Thank you, Judge. That's okay. I put you on the record. Oh.
All right, Ms. Diaz, did you understand? You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do.
And do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do.
Ms. Diaz, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. And for the record, Mr. Toshi is currently present.
Good morning, Judge.
Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorneys? Did you understand it? According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 25 years in the prison. If you do not return for sentencing, then you will be subject to the full range of punishment, and whatever plea you enter into in this cause will still stand. Do you understand?
Yes.
So you do understand that if you do not return to court for sentencing, that your range of punishment will not be the cap of 25, but it will be up to life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Do you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Judge.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, sir.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorneys? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Councils, were there any such motions?
No, Judge.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
State officer states exhibit 1 with all attachments.
We have reviewed the same and have no objections.
All right. Did you review the document entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorneys? Did you
Yes.
understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony today. Did you understand?
Yes, Your
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. Very much. Oh, for that. We should do something like that. On the back. That's what I'm asking about. Thank you. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty. This will be set for sentencing on July 30th. And that will be at 9 a.m.
Okay, just so the court's aware, the next of kin, they're located in Ohio, so they'll be zooming in for.
All right, any objections to them?
No, Judge, that's fine.
All right, so we'll be back on July 30th. You'll need to immediately report to probation. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, We can go off the record. Ms. Abrams,
Yes, sir.
if you'll give Ms. Diaz the information to report to probation. And so you're to immediately leave this location to go to probation. And of course, you're not eligible for probation, but that's who will do the PSI report for the court. All right. Is there anything else?
No, Judge.
All right. Once you sign the reset form and speak to the officer here, she'll give you directions of where you need to go. All
Thank you, Judge.
right. Thank you.
Confidence discovery, you were supposed to sign it today, and then I need to. He's got two places. Delgado? Delgado?
Who's here on Noah Gonzalez? All right, Mr. Gonzalez, if you'll come forward.
Hello, guys.
So you are back.
I have a seat, but I just got my.
Wow.
I haven't sat. I'm picking the right date for it, so. It's one of
Okay.
those,
See, I think you dress impeccably.
thank you.
I have it up here, Norman. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 6757, State of Texas versus Noah Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar from the state of Texas.
Run the way for the defense.
And are you Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Gonzalez, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Judge.
Did you understand the document entitled Court Admonishments? Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it at all the appropriate places? Thank you. Sign in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with theft of $2,500 to $30,000 of a vehicle as a state jail felony? Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
He is, Your Honor.
Mr. Gonzalez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, there's an $800 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication, and there's to be restitution, if any, to Daniel Chapa. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is at the plea.
It is, Your Honor.
State is at the plea.
Yes, Judge.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 3 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours of community service restitution, no contact with Daniel or Samantha Chapa or their residents. Did you understand? Those are recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations.
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
I plead guilty.
State any evidence.
State offer states exhibit 1 in all attachments.
No objections for purposes of the plea.
All right, state, you may be excused. Counsel in the box, if you could ask the deputy to just move your person down there to talk to them instead of behind the court reporter. Thank you. All right, did you review the document entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Just that the state follows the recommendation from the state and give him 3 years deferred adjudication, Judge.
All right, how old are you?
I just turned 18, man.
How far did you go in school?
Junior year.
All right, why did you drop out?
I had got kicked off the basketball team and I had dropped out. I'm currently studying for my GED.
Well, that makes no sense.
It doesn't.
So why were you kicked off the basketball team?
I was on varsity. I was in the bathroom while people were smoking. The police officer searched everybody in the bathroom. They didn't find nothing on me. I was rude to the officer, and my coach had seen that, and he had kicked me off the team.
I'm sorry, what?
My coach had seen, like, when he came in, the officer was searching us. My coach said I was being rude, so he had kicked me off the team the next day when I showed up to practice.
Yeah,
So I had dropped out.
I mean, I'm sure that was punishment, and that ultimately he probably would have let you back on the team. So you act as though it's the end of the world and ruin your life.
Yes.
And I say ruin your life, there's still a chance to pick up the pieces, but your answer to being kicked off the team is, all right, I'm dropping out of school. That's not good choices.
It's not. I also was working too. I just focus on my job.
Yeah, you should be focusing on education, because what do you do for work?
But work, nothing at the moment. Now. That's why I
So
was
here you are,
focusing on getting my GED.
and all you have to do is complete school. Basketball is not the end of the world. And not that many people make it to the pros. And when I say pros, I mean, you know, the National Basketball League. Sometimes you see people, they're real serious about it, so they end up international basketball. Maybe they get to play for one of those teams. But you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket, and that's what you did.
Agreed.
So do you live with your parents?
Yes, ma'am.
And what do they say about all of this?
They're helping me to do better. They're really helping.
So how do you spend your day? Because you're not at work.
I'm in Brownwood. It's 3 hours up north. I'm with my father. He's currently looking for a job and studying on my GED. Ready. We haven't started the quizzes yet, but I'm studying everything for it.
And where is Brownwood?
3 hours up north. It's past Fredericksburg, about 2 hours past Fredericksburg.
Okay, what county is that?
Brown County.
Brown Town?
Brown County, ma'am.
Brown County.
Yes, ma'am.
Is he gonna be asking for his probation to be
Correct.
transferred there?
Yes, Judge.
All right. You know, when you break into people's cars, people don't like that. Because that's something that somebody worked hard for it. They paid money for it. And if you want a vehicle, you need to work for it. Now, and what was the name of the person you were with that day?
Um,
You said it was your friend, so who was it?
he goes by Clicker. That's
What?
Clicker. That's what I
Clicker?
call him. Yes.
And you don't know his real name?
No, man.
Never hang around with somebody where you don't know their real name.
Yes,
You understand?
I've learned that. Yes,
And please tell me, you don't have any children?
no, man.
All right, that's a good thing. You're not ready for children. You're still growing. This is a deferred adjudication. So with deferred adjudications, I'm sure your attorney explained to you the benefit for that.
Yes, ma'am.
But the downsides of it is if you mess up, you're looking at 2 years at the state jail facility. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is what the court is gonna do. There's gonna be an $800 fine. That will be probated. 2 years deferred adjudication. We'll do a transfer to Brown County. There's gonna be restitution, if any, to Daniel Chapa, CHAPA. There's to be no contact with Daniel Chapa or Samantha Chapa. And it's on Cozy Run. And also no contact with the street Cozy Run. That's COZYRUN at 78218. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Should be clear.
What do you mean it should be?
I shouldn't have nothing in my system.
All right, you need to speak up.
I shouldn't have nothing in my system, man.
Have you used before?
Yes, ma'am.
What?
Marijuana.
There's no marijuana allowed while you're on probation. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There's no alcohol while you're on probation. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm gonna ask for 120 hours of community service restitution. 60 hours of those will be waived upon completion of his GED. And the remaining 60 hours will be waived if you obtain some level of higher education or trade school. Plumbers make great money. Nobody ever complains about what they're being charged by a plumber. My understanding is always gonna need welders, but the welders I've spoken to, they tend to have a little bit of damage done to their hands sometimes from the flames. So those are some of your options. But if there's something else that you're interested in, I'll give you 60 hours for that because I want you to improve yourself. You
Yes,
understand?
Yes.
If they're able to do field visits, if we can have field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. And proof of employment within 40 days. There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors.
Yes.
Probation, is there anything else?
No, Judge.
Is there anything else that you need from the court to be successful?
No.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed the plea bargain agreement, because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. You understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing, to be successful on probation in this court, communication is key. Talk to your probation officer. If you're going to test positive for drugs, if you're thinking about using drugs, the best policy in this court, I don't know what they're doing in other courts, but the best policy in this court is to pick up the phone, call your probation and say, your officer and say, you know, I'm thinking about using marijuana. I'm thinking about taking a drink of alcohol. They'll reach out, try to help you. But if you don't call, we're gonna have issues.
Yes, ma'am.
In this court, it's not better to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission. Always ask for permission. Doesn't hurt. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And the other thing, when you're out here breaking into people's cars, this is Texas. If somebody ends up shooting you, and I say this is Texas, but you can go to any state, Louisiana. I think a 12-year-old just got shot in the head, breaking into somebody's car. And you know what? His parents are crying, saying, he was just 12. I'm sure your parents will be crying, he was only 18. It's just property. That's what you need to realize. It's just property. It's not worth it. And your parents would have been crying on the news. You know what a majority of the people would say? Oh, well, he should have been taking what wasn't his. So here's my advice to you. Don't take what does not belong to you. If you want things, you have to work for things. And if somebody is inviting you to a party, make sure you ask for them. Are you allowed to have a +1? If they say no, don't go.
Yes.
If you show up to a party and people ask you to leave, leave. Do you understand?
Yes.
And I think in the words of Denzel Washington, you need to leave 30 minutes before the devil shows up. Nothing good happens after midnight. Don't be outside of your house after midnight.
Yes.
Nothing good happens after midnight. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
They're with you.
Yes. All right, Alex, Mosiak
And get this real quick.
and counsel, I know that you had filed a bond.
And I printed up another copy that I gave to Norma. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, I will tell the court, yep, the copy I gave you yesterday, the state had written on that they didn't oppose reinstating or going with the original
Oh,
bond.
no,
fee.
I remember
Okay,
what was
okay.
written on there. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 3533, State of Texas versus Alex Michael Misiak.
Miosic.
Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Is that done for the state?
Defense.
Charles Bunk for Mr. Miosic.
All right, we are here. There was a request for a bond to be set. His bond was revoked because he was a no-show.
Yes, if I can have a second, Judge. When Mr. Miosic was set for court, I was present. I told the court his car had broken down on that day, and the court gave us until 1:30 for me to get some information to the court. Mr. Miosic was with his car still broken down at that time. I didn't get the information in time to the court. It wasn't until several days later that I was able to get the information. I gave that information to the state. They, it shows his car was in fact broken down. His car was in the shop and towed. So for that reason, I'm asking the court to set the bond back at the $20,000 that it was set at that time, allowing him to make a new bond. And then we will come back, we'll get a new court date hopefully soon and continue down our track.
State?
We're fine with the 20,000, Your Honor.
All right. And the court will note that the bond was previously set at $20,000. The previous conditions in place on the previous bond, those will remain. Also, there's to be no contact with the complainant.
Yes, Judge.
All right, and Mr. Miosic. All right, in case it wasn't previously asked, have there been any mental health issues with you before? Any drug issues? Ever used any type of drugs, marijuana, anything?
Not this year,
Not this year. So when's the last time?
last year, but I've been sober since.
All right. All right, then the court is gonna follow your agreement, set the bond at $20,000. And there's to be no contact with the complainant. And we are going to recall this case. Where are we on? We're off the record. Where are we on discovery?
What setting is this? Christina? Not really. I think it's pretty early.
Well, there was a discovery issue in April because there were some cases that were sealed.
Okay, I can check into those.
All right, so we need to make sure that that's done. And then Ms. Ferguson
Yes, ma'am.
on Mr. Miosic. And you can set him for the second week in August for discovery. And that will be the last discovery setting. And make sure he has a reset form and you need to be here. You understand? All right, it's gonna be August 13th.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
May we be excused?
Yes.
Thank you.
Just have a seat, sir.
What page is he on?
He was the.
I think he's an add-on.
So it wasn't actually put on the docket.
All right, thank you. And then, Mr. Gross? He's not here. Okay. All right, Edward Casillas? Hello,
Hello, Judge, how are you?
all right. Where are we on PTD?
Judge, we just got the contract that we signed yesterday. So it's been signed and turned in.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a PTD date on Mr. Casillas. Casillas?
I can do August 15th.
All right, we're gonna set it for August 15th. Once you sign the recent form, you're excused. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Thank you, Judge. Good to see you.
All right, you too.
It's Edward, right?
Yes. Anthony Cochran,
Thank you.
good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. We signed the discovery acknowledgement. You'd set this from last time because there's so many videos, and he has more than one case.
All right, and Stace, were you able to present an offer or no?
No,
All right, how much more time do you need to present them an offer?
leave that, Mr. Aldridge out of town, and then
We
probably
were
30
looking
days.
at, yeah, I'm gonna be out the beginning of August until the middle of August. So a little bit after that, I'm gonna come in and speak with them. Like I said, there's a lot of evidence, several co-defendants. It's kind of a lot,
It's two different.
two different incidents. Yeah.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Anthony Cochran, this will be the last time for the state to tender an offer. If you'll set it for 40 days, please.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes, ma'am.
And Judge, I'll be filing my motion to accrue additional hours. There's more than 30 hours of video, much less. So, okay.
So
I
how,
can do August 22nd, Judge.
is August 22nd good?
That'll be fine.
All right,
Keep me busy.
yeah, and how are the arrangements coming along?
Excellent, excellent. Very excited. Very excited.
Tell her I said congratulations, I'm excited.
I will.
All right.
Okay, Anthony. Just sign right here. I'll give you your reset form. Thank you. There you go. Yeah. Bring it to you outside, okay?
Okay.
That way we can, yeah, just wait in the hall.
Juan Carlos Rios. Are y'all Juan Carlos Rios? Jose Carmona?
Present.
Yes. All right, if you have your client come up. All right, today is plea deadline date?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
We have reviewed the video that the DA has made available this morning. It solved one issue and raised another one.
What is the other issue that's been raised?
It's a search issue involving the inventory of the vehicle. And we would employ the court to maybe give us one more plea setting if we could.
Norma? If you could set this for the third week in August, and that third week in August, if there's a motion to suppress that needs to be heard, then we will hear it that week. If there's gonna be a plea that's gonna be entered, it's gonna be done that week. There will be no further plea deadline dates reset. All right,
August 19th, Judge.
all right,
Thank you, Judge.
you're welcome. So it's gonna be August 19th. Yes, thank you. Dylan Bell,
Present, Your Honor. Yes.
Oh, we should hear.
hello.
Morning, Your Honor.
All right, so it was recalled for a tap.
That's correct. Yes, Judge.
All right, so we're here today for sentencing.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the court is calling 2024 CR 3093, State of Texas versus Dylan Bell. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar from the state of Texas.
Renee
Yes.
Munoz. Oh, sorry, Judge. Renee Munoz on behalf of Mr. Bell.
And are you Dylan Bell?
Yes, sir.
All right, so this is recalled for a TAP evaluation to be completed. Have both parties had a chance to review the TAP evaluation?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Any objections to the TAP evaluation?
No, Your Honor.
No objection from the defense, Judge.
All right. So with regards to the plea bargain agreement, punishment was to be assessed at 6 years in the prison. The state is opposed to your application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Are there any witnesses, state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any witnesses?
No, Judge.
All right, then the court will hear parties' argument. States you're opposed.
I guess, Judge, during the course of this criminal episode, there were plenty of people that were put in fear for their safety. The defendant entered a home with people who obviously did not want him there in the course of committing another crime. Again, that's a threat to the community. His behavior is something that we should accept. That's why we don't vote these applications.
All right, defense.
Yes, Judge. In reference to what the state claimed regarding the facts, did Grabnut, however, he was not charged with robbery. There was nothing violent asserted to the parties. He was more frantic trying to get out of the situation. He thought he was in trouble of. 21-year-old kid, Judge. We came through and we made arguments last time on the record. I know the state had some concerns. The court had some concerns about his drug usage and his mental health as well, Judge. We think that there's a strong correlation between his issues and this offense that occurred. Unfortunately, he was not given the opportunity for help before. We're asking the court for opportunity for him to change the course of the path of his life and to not have him be a convicted felon, to have him prove to the court that he can accept rehabilitation and do what he needs to do in order to keep his record somewhat clean, Judge. He's been in custody for the last 6 months, Your Honor. That has been an extreme shock to his system. He's afraid about going to prison, Judge. He's essentially done the shock portion of being in custody 6 months. He's been clean, he's detoxed. We're asking for the chance for him to continue to get treatment, to get help as terms and a part of a deferred adjudication disposition, Judge. He's only 21. I think he has the ability and the opportunity to change his life and to, be a productive member of society. If he gets sentenced to prison, Your Honor, it's my fear he's not going to have the level of care that he needs. He's not going to learn any skills that he needs to be in the community. And we're asking that the court work with us in terms of giving him the opportunity for treatment over just mere incarceration, Judge.
All right. I'll tell you what, I understand the issues here. It appears that he may have been on a lot of drugs because I'm looking at his substance abuse history and it's marijuana, cocaine, heroin, PCP, LSD, meth, Xanax, Percocets, Ambien, fentanyl. So if y'all will step back, I'm going to think about this a little bit because I will tell you both. Part of my concern is this starts at the Home Depot. Then it goes, I think Home Depot, but it starts at a store with him trying to take things, knocking computers off. Then it goes from the store to then he enters someone's home without their permission, sweating profusely, pants down, grabbing their car keys and taking their vehicle. So just give me a moment to think about this a little bit and then I'll bring you all back.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Giovanni Jason Bustos.
Morning, Judge.
Morning. All right, what's happening with this case?
This is first setting. I have signed the acknowledgement of discovery. I think that's probably all there is. I haven't had a chance to really review all of it very carefully. To talk to the state intellectually informed about a plea bargain offer, so I'd like to have a reset.
All right,
So I
Ms. Ferguson, on Jason Bustos, if I can have a 30-day reset.
I can do August 15th.
August 15th.
Yes, we're gonna come back on August 15th. State, at that time, you need to be prepared to tender an offer.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you're both excused.
Thank you. I see.
Have a seat, sir.
What page is he on, Norma?
Page 6, Judge.
Thank you. Oh, and I'm so sorry, counsel. Your client, is he a Spanish speaker? Yeah, okay, I don't know why they have Spanish on here. Freddie Gardo. All right. Freddie Gardo.
We're ready on that, Judge.
All right, state, did you tender an offer?
Well, Your Honor, at the last setting, we had discovery that we needed to provide to counsel. We've done that today in the form of the CPS records. Counsel would like an opportunity to view the forensic. We've already given them the kind of resources to set that up. And then once counsel has that opportunity, we'll be able to, I think, make her an offer.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this case, recall it in 3 weeks. State at that time you need to tender an offer.
We will, Judge, absolutely.
What date?
It'll be August 6th.
All right, you're gonna come back on August 6th. The state is gonna tender an offer, then there'll be a quick turnaround for a plea deadline date. All right, is there anything else?
No, Judge.
Thank you,
Okay,
Judge.
thanks for dressing appropriately for court. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
All right, thank you, you too. Let's see what page he is on.
Nice guy.
Luis DeLeon. Hello.
Morning.
All right, so today is plea deadline date.
Yes, Judge, we are not accepting any of the state's offers. I believe we've spoken to the coordinator. They have us on September 9th. We'll sign a discovery acknowledgement. Ready to move forward, Judge.
All right, your jury trial date is gonna be September 9th. The court will not consider any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plead open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I need an acknowledgement of discovery before either party leaves. And once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
And
thank
Judge,
you.
that
Thank you,
case is
Judge.
going to impact.
All right, you'll be in impact court.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right, are the parties here on Juan Carlos Rios?
Oh, no problem.
Rodney Brown?
Of course, you just stepped out of the restaurant.
Oh, no, I just was making sure he's here.
Oh, he's here.
All right, thank you.
Be ready to announce.
All right, thank you.
You want me to get you the box, Judge?
No, you can just wait till they're ready.
mean.
Oh, no, what page is Freddie Delgado? Oh, there he is. All right, who's here on Dean Delgado?
I am, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Delgado, come down.
Yes, Your Honor. If I may approach.
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor, we're going to be requesting a reset on his revocation hearing.
Why?
Well, I was not appointed. I did not receive an appointed letter, appointment letter. He's got two new number
All right,
ones.
so you need to move that.
Okay, sorry, he's got two new number ones, Your Honor. And,
So what do you mean you were not appointed?
well, I was appointed, but I've never received a letter.
Oh,
So I didn't receive any notice, Your Honor.
okay.
So I'm not really familiar with his two new number ones.
All right, State, do you have the discovery on the theft? The two new number ones that are theft cases?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, have you received that discovery?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so if you'll make sure defense receives that discovery,
Your Honor,
yes.
apologize for interrupting. I want to add more information. Those cases were at large, so I don't know if the discovery process is complete. I know what we have, and I can make that available to defense counsel. I don't know if that is everything that we need from the investigating agencies in order to take it.
All right, if you will make sure that defense has that before he leaves. And defense, if you'll review that and let the court know whether there's more information that's needed by you.
Okay, yes, Your Honor.
All right, and then Ms. Ferguson, set this for a contested hearing. And it may not end up being contested, but we'll set it for a contested. Set it for a contested in 14 days.
Okay, yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, also while we're at the bench, Your Honor, Mr. Delgado on his NPR case, Your Honor, he's on remand and we would request from the court that his bond be set.
All right, if you all follow the motion, then the court will hear it.
Okay, all right, I can do that tonight and then I can approach maybe.
Sure, you need to let them know to have him brought back,
Okay,
but it will be most likely, if we were to do it tomorrow, you'll have to be here exactly at 9 a.m.
okay,
All right,
okay, I will get that filed today, e-file it today, Your Honor.
all right. And Ms. Ferguson, what date?
I can do August 1st.
All right, we're coming back for a contested hearing on August 1st.
And Your Honor, I've got one other case. One of his two new number ones, a theft of firearm. That case has not had a bond set on that as well too. It's
All
not
right, just-
remanded, it's just not been set.
All right, just file the motion
Okay.
and the court will hear it.
Okay, I'll do that this afternoon, Your Honor, and then we can come back tomorrow if it pleases the court.
Yes, oh, and make sure that when you file it to bring a copy, because sometimes things get
Yes,
lost in the system.
I'm aware of that. Yes, Your
All
Honor.
right.
So Judge, we call the defendant for tomorrow for the bond?
Yes, for the bond,
Yes.
but he's set for contested on August 1st.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Your Honor, may I be
Yes.
blind?
Your Honor, may I approach on Mr. Brown? He's now back in the restroom.
Yes, can I have a file on Brown, please? How's it
Good
been
morning.
going?
It's been good. How are you?
All right, long time no see.
Yeah, I paused my appointments on the criminal side. I just got too busy, so that's why I've been coming around.
Oh, well, you need to come back.
I do. I kind of miss the action. Going to Switzerland next month. Going to Switzerland with my wife next month.
That is gonna be so much fun.
As long as it's cooler than here, it can't be bad, but I'm really looking forward to
Well,
it.
I'm trying to get my mom for her birthday, which will be next year. We're gonna do Paris, Florence, Rome, and so he's like, yeah,
That's pretty nice.
that's what the plan is.
Sounds wonderful. I love the Tuscany area. if you can, rent a car and drive around there. It's
Oh, now you're asking for too much.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be renting a vehicle. You're just asking us to have an accident. I can have an accident with my
It is,
mom.
it is tough, but at least you're driving, I forget, I don't think you're driving on the wrong side of the road, no way.
See,
not
no,
like
I
England.
still can't do it. We'll end up getting lost. But I am gonna splurge on my mom, and I know it's gonna cost an arm and a leg. I'm gonna have my mom go first class.
That is wonderful.
But here's the problem. I'm gonna have to do first class too, because the way my mom is, if I were to do economy or coach, my mom would constantly be in the back. Well, baby, you come and sit up here and enjoy some first class too, and I don't feel right. So,
It's
but yeah, that's what I'm gonna do for her.
for a long flight like that.
Oh, yeah. And
Gotta
since
do
I've
it.
said it, she can't back out. The way I get her not to back out, I'll tell her, well, I guess I'm just going by myself then. Be like, no. All right, so where are we on this case? I see it's the first setting.
So first setting, Judge, I have a discovery acknowledgement.
Okay,
Spoke to Mr. Escobar. We have an offer.
okay.
So just gonna make sure we go over all the discovery with Mr. Brown and request a regular reset and take it from there.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. On this case, could I have a 45-day reset? That's gonna be for your plea deadline date.
Should I turn
Oh,
it.
yes, turn that in. And so, thank you. And what will end up happening on that date, you need to let the court know whether or not you have reached an agreement with the state. On the date that I'm gonna give you, if you have not reached an agreement, then your next date will be a jury trial.
Okay.
All right,
45, Judge, right?
yes.
I can do August 29th.
August 29th is good.
All right, so we'll be back on August 29th.
Thank you, Judge.
Great, thank you.
Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Have a good one.
Yes. I'll meet you outside. I say I got they're so rare. Got another reversal on a CPS case.
Oh, wow.
And it was one of those where the parents had done pretty good, so the department started trial saying, we waive termination pleadings.
Mhm.
And then at the end of the trial, they want to terminate. And the judge terminated, so I said, they abandoned that.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought the fourth court would try to do trial by consent, but they didn't.
Oh, wow.
So it was reversed.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Thank you. It's like a, it's
Well,
like,
you know, it's sort of like if I come in to municipal court, they say I'm here for running a red light, then all of a sudden they're like, surprise, it's a you.
right, and most, you know how the trials go in that court, especially when it's a bench trial. Usually attorneys don't say anything, but luckily one of the attorneys, because they quoted it in the opinion, said, so we're only going forward on conservatorship, right? And that was enough to not trial by consent. So I did.
Oh, hey.
Feels good to win one every now and then.
All right, have a good one.
You too.
All right. Orlando Medellin. Oh, just have a seat. Mr. Ruiz is on your case. He's talking with Daniel. Norma on Brenda Rodriguez. Michael DeLeon is in Gillespie, I think, or Medina County. So he said he'll try to make it. And then Juan Castaneda, what's happening with that case? All right, thank you. And then where is Kurt Hopke on?
He said he's trying to make, he's in, Guadalupe, come out, and then he'll come back.
All right, we'll see if that's a trial setting.
Then, Your Honor, I believe Renee is on his case and we haven't.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Judge.
Oh, and he has Christopher Weezer as well. All right, have you had contact with Roberto Ambrosino? He's on Ramiro Guzman.
Let me call him.
All right, for those who are on bond and your attorney hasn't shown up, you need to pick up the phone and call them.
So I'm actually looking.
Hello.
I mean, you're not gonna do it. That's what I like. Oh, you want this? I get you. I try. I bring it. I.
You know, it's like.
I learned that.
Let me see.
Okay.
No problem.
Yeah, they won't give you details. If they're sealed.
Oh, he's in Texas.
You know where we're at.
All right. Deputy Laura, did you let Romero Guzman know that his case is being recalled for the 18th?
Yes, Judge. Because then they lock the back of the door.
Correct. But look at this, I've never seen this.
When they. When I was.
Anything's. Well, honestly, I'm very happy.
And then
She's.
Yeah.
She seems pierced. He has an.
And that's just a feeling. Look it up, we both make sure that it's all under.
It's either, we can take the, it's no problem. That shit's about.
You can just have to wait, you heard that, they know.
Yeah, yes, email me.
How it's. Yeah.
Okay, then the house, I'm not ready.
Yeah.
Thank you. So.
That's kind of fun. I don't. Yeah. She's like, it's your play.
All right, Daniel Mestes. Right? Yes.
So Judge, council and I were able to put the puzzle together in terms of the overall scope of this individual's outstanding cases.
Mhm.
There's one case in this court that's been indicted.
Mhm.
That is our case, meaning the assault second. There's also a filed misdemeanor with the same complainant. They had misnamed this individual in the system, but we're able to confirm it's the same complainants. Those two cases, a misdemeanor and this felony, were on the same page. Then there are three other cases, two misdemeanors and a felony that are not filed, sealed cases. So three cases kind of separate, and then again, one here with the same complainant on the misdemeanor level, so 3 and 2, Your Honor.
All right.
Yes, Your Honor, one of them is an at-large,
Mhm.
which, so I don't have any access to that. I didn't know it existed. I mean,
It's
I
sealed,
know
so yeah,
it's sealed, so we don't have.
All right, and so what is the sale case? Is that a drug
It
case or is
is-
it family violence?
It is another family violence case.
Okay.
So we're still trying to figure I mean, I know we're here for an evidence exchange. I count it as a win that we just figured out what the cases are. But I know my metric isn't
All right.
deciding, but, so at least we kind of know the terrain, so we can figure this out.
Okay, so where is the sealed case?
With the intake side of the house.
All right, so are they going to unseal it so she can have evidence on how to proceed?
Likely not. I mean, when it's ready to be presented, it'll be presented. I think right now that whole side of the house runs a little bit differently in the era of Odyssey. So unfortunately, Your Honor, I don't have any answers for you. But I am pleased to report that at least for this case and with the same complainant, that misdemeanor, those have been filed and those are.
All right, so this is gonna be set for jury trial. And I'm gonna give you all the jury trial date. If y'all work out something on the date of jury trial, I'll put a notation that the court would hear a potential plea on the date of jury trial. Ms. Ferguson,
Yes, ma'am.
I need a jury trial date on this case.
Maybe September 10th.
Okay. All right, we're gonna come back on September 10th for a jury trial.
Your Honor, on this case, there's not a bond. It was remanded without bond risk. Asking the court if they would consider setting a bond on this case.
All right, if you file a motion, the court will hear it.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Make sure you see that.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
But I need to.
Okay. Okay, I will do this.
And we'll decide if we're ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. It's still a third with an interest, I still can. On a DPO amount, yeah, joint. There's no other figure, that's a third degree on its own, and the 2 assaults into thirds. He does. Okay. So, yeah, 4/3. Yeah, because you've got assault second is a third, assault second is a third, DPO. Because it's a repeat DPO, it's a third out of state jail. They may have it in the. Let me check, usually. PG, it's a one.
Mr. Beals.
Yeah, gotcha.
I think we're ready to, because it was a plea deadline.
Yes, yeah, the drug ones are pretty good. Or.
Judge, do you have your slide?
You supposed to go that.
Yes.
They're ready to work.
All right, just give me a moment.
Yeah,
All right, could I see the parties on Castaneda? Castaneda?
Yes.
Who's the attorney? All right, court is calling 2024 CR 3284, State of Texas versus Juan Alejandro Castaneda. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state defense?
Wendy McClellan is the defense.
And are you Mr. Castaneda?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Are there any applications?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Castaneda, did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, I'm sorry. Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Castaneda, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand your charge of possession of a controlled substance, felony group 1, less than 1 gram? That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Castaneda, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 239 days in Bexar County Jail under 1244. There are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is at the plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
State is at the plea.
Yes, Judge.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did
Yes,
you
ma'am.
sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
I know, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
State officer states exhibit 1 in all attachments.
No objection.
All right, state, you may be excused. Did you review the document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Were there any other charges that arose out of this incident?
No, Judge, I don't believe so.
All right, so there's not going to be,
There was a criminal trespass that was dismissed.
all right, and there's nothing, because I seeing here that there was some sort of scuffle with the bike patrol officer.
He was-
All right, I just want to make sure there's nothing remaining.
Thank you.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, we ask you to follow the plea bargain agreement and grant him the 1244 time served for the 239 days in jail. He said that this experience has been a positive experience for him, surprisingly. That it has helped him to become clean and become a better person. And he is ready to get out and move on, find housing and, lead a more stable life.
All right, so how much time does he have in custody?
239 days.
All right. Court will find you guilty. The court will sentence you to 239 days in the Bexar County Jail under 1244. The court will find that the judgment is satisfied. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the breaker. How old are you?
26, ma'am.
All right, do you have family support?
Not very much.
All right, so who's your support system?
My daughter's mom and her family.
All right.
But there's not very much of that either.
And how old is your daughter? Okay. So you're gonna have to make some big changes in your life.
Yes, ma'am.
If, I'm sorry, go
I
ahead.
was doing that before I came in here, and the goal was to find a way to get off of what I was on, so that way I could be in her life more. I didn't want to be in her life while I was on drugs,
Mhm.
and being on them stopped me from that. I didn't want to be around her when I was high, and I felt guilty about it. So coming in here helped me get clean, so that way I could move forward and be able to do that, but
All
for
right,
myself as well.
So let me just tell you what my experience is from being in treatment courts, is that sometimes it's easy to be clean and sober when you're in custody because you don't necessarily have readily available to you controlled substances, right? Everybody, their intention when they're in custody is to do better. Their intention is, I'm never going to use again, but then they go back to people, places, and things, and they end up using. There are plenty of places in San Antonio where they will provide you with free services for any type of drug addictions. And of course, sobriety meetings, those are always free. And they're throughout the city. You can go to anyone. If you think you're going to use, you can pop into one. Or if you want it to be a normal routine for you to go there, you can go there. Because at the end of the day, when you're in the real world, and I say the real world, even though prison and jail is the real world, problems in life hit you in the face. And sometimes they hit you unexpectedly. Sometimes you know they're going to hit you. And then how do we cope with that? We go back to doing what we know. So don't do that. And if you don't want to be clean and sober for yourself, you need to be clean and sober for your 4-year-old. Because I'm sure you want her to be at school, where you take her to school, and she runs to you and says, that's my dad, and is proud to let everybody know that's her dad. All right? If something happens when you get out of jail, you can't find a place, you can always come back to court. We're here Monday through Fridays. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, he'll probably be released at midnight. Christopher Weezer.
Castañeda?
All right, so we're here for discovery.
Yes, Your Honor. And Renee is also on a couple of the cases, Judge.
Yes.
And I'm on the other ones, and we are here, and state has complied with discovery. We've received our plea. At this point, my client is not wanting to go with that plea.
All right, how old are you, sir?
I'm 35, miss.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. On this case, recall this in 2 weeks for a plea deadline date,
Yes, ma'am.
and it's Christopher Casanova Weezer.
July 30th.
All right, you're gonna be back on July 30th. On July 30th, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. After that, the court will not consider any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plea open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and state, before you all leave on these cases, I need an acknowledgement of discovery.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank
All
you.
right, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Yeah. No, no, no. You're fine. I gotta go. Yes. I'll see when you get back. Okay. I like your perspective. Exactly. Well, that's where I was trying to do. Yes. Okay. Sure. No, no, we're talking. It's good to think about, for sure.
Cost benefit analysis.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with that.
And it's like, okay, I'm fine.
May I approach?
Yes.
There's a lady here who wants to give you flowers.
Oh, look at you. Brenda, you're approaching, you're bringing good news. I thought you were gonna approach and say, may I approach? I don't have this evidence.
No, that's it.
Thank you so very much.
So the dragonfly is actually just a little pick you can take off afterwards. The pink rose, her name is Candy Expression, and the orange rose is called Free Spirit. We have stock and snaps and sunflowers and Gerber daisies and vernaculas and
Oh my gosh.
calla lilies
I
and
love every
tulips.
flower that is in here. Thank you so very much.
There's care and handling instructions inside.
Okay.
And we do recommend that you mix the flower food separately because it needs to dissolve. It's like sugar. And then tomorrow you probably want to add extra to it.
Okay. Thank you so very much. This made my day.
I'm so glad to make your day.
Thank you. Have a great one.
You too, ma'am.
Oh, they smell beautiful.
Yeah, they're just gorgeous. Sorry.
Oh, no, I haven't. Is this quiet here? Yeah. All right, Juan Rios. Council, I've been to Canyon Lake once, so I know the route. No problem. All right, and the reason why normally I would let people appear on Zoom if they're out, but the reason why I had you come in is because today is your plea deadline day. All right. And you still came and you dressed appropriately for court, so I appreciate that.
It was very unusual. He wasn't here before me and he's always well dressed.
Yeah.
I was worried about him. I'm
No.
glad we just had a scheduling.
But I always give people a chance, so I don't immediately issue bond forfeitures. I always wait to hear. And see, I've never had any problem with you showing up, so.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so today is the plea deadline date. So are you all gonna enter into agreement or you're requesting a jury trial?
We are requesting a jury trial.
All right, state, how long do you anticipate this trial?
3 days, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, it's criminal trial division and I need a jury trial date, 2 to 3 days.
Judge, I'm just gonna give you a heads up on this one. It is an intox manslaughter. We also have an accident reconstructionist.
Okay.
So I'm thinking it might be closer to 4 to 5.
Okay.
I just don't want the court to be misled in schedules for court.
Now, you know, I always tell people this is not on the civil side. When they say you only have 2 to 3 days, they cut you off. And they're like, "We're
They
done."
send us back on the civil side.
Yeah. All right, so Norma. 2 to 3 days on Juan Rios. And parties, I need you all to do an acknowledgement of discovery before you leave.
We have done a couple of them.
I don't know why. I'm gonna have them check. Maybe it's scanned in because I don't have it.
What's the case number?
It's 2023 CR 6483.
Yes, it's on, this Odyssey.
Yeah.
All right, so it's.
That
scanned in
explains all of
Odyssey.
it.
All right.
About to call it something.
All right, what date, Ms. Ferguson?
Judge, I can do October 1st.
October 1st is the earliest.
Yes.
And we're putting you on that day. A lot of people think, oh my gosh, October 1st, but we have other cases that are before you. And I really don't like setting cases knowing that you're maybe the 10th on the list.
Okay.
So once you
Thank
sign
you.
you're welcome. Once you guys sign the reset form, you're excused. And thank you for always dressing appropriately for court. All right. So remember this date, August 1st.
Thank you.
Well, that's a please.
Yeah, I'll bring it to you. I'll bring it. Yeah.
All right, who's here on Orlando Medellin? All right, if you'll come down. And counsel, I'm still thinking about his case. I haven't forgotten.
Oh, no problem. We appreciate the consideration, Judge.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, the court is calling 2024 CR 3777, State of Texas versus Orlando Medellin. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Zach Dunn for the state.
defense?
Renee Munoz.
And are you Orlando Medellin?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review that with your client?
Yes, that is correct, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Medellin, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do so waive.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with burglary of a habitation force? That's a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you understand that the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked? Court will find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine.
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
In my opinion, he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
That is correct, Judge.
Mr. Medellin, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, state recommends deferred adjudication. They're taking in consideration 2023 CR 7456. There's an affirmative finding of family violence, and there's to be no contact with the complaining witness. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense is at the plea?
Yes, Judge.
State is at the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The
Yes.
only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court.
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Judge.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 6 years. Did you understand that's recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
To the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State offer states one and attachments.
No objection.
And state, have you contacted the complainant?
I've let our advocate know to reach out to them, Your Honor, yes.
All right. You may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Did you review the document entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand? You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for further adjudication.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Well, don't do that yet. Why should I follow this agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, it was some time ago. I think the offense allegedly occurred, or it occurred 2022, Judge. It was a momentary thing. It was a scorn kind of a lover situation, a toxic relationship. Client has since ceased all communication with that party. I confirmed this with the CW. It hasn't been harassing or anything like that. It was a dark time in his life at that particular moment, Judge, but that's not indicative of his character as a person. He's never been charged with a felony before. He does have some issues he's working through, but he's really looking forward to the opportunity to prove the court that he can be successful on his probation, Judge, and I think he can.
All right, so you've spoken to the complaining witness?
Yes, Judge.
And how does she feel about this?
At the time, obviously she as indicated there in the report, she was scared at that time. But I did ask her if because he was on bond for some time after this offense, if he's been in their lives at all. She's like, no, I haven't heard from him whatsoever. He's not been contacting me, things of that nature. So it seems like that has kind of dispelled that, relationship has come to an end. He's aware that if he's on probation, he can't come anywhere near her. He's completely fine with that. He put that relationship in the past and he's wanting to move forward with his life. He knows that that's a toxic kind of situation. They're not meant to be together, and he's learned from it, Your Honor. Furthermore, he can live with his parents. His parents are here in the gallery. They can provide a support system for him. They can live at his home, make sure he attends all appointments as necessary, Judge. So I think with that support system, he can get back on the right track. His family did inform me that he's a skilled laborer. He does things with like as an electricity. So I think he can find good work doing that and contribute to society, Judge.
All right, so he was on bond? Why was he no longer on bond? Why was he in custody?
Sometime down the road, he picked up the possession case, which is taken into consideration, dismissed. And then I was brought in on this case as his former counsel had gone off the case. There was an active warrant, and then I got notified when we got picked up. So that's currently where we're at now, Judge.
All right, do you have any children?
I do have 9, 10-year-old daughters. And if I may,
Yes.
I didn't take it serious. It was my first relationship after my separation to the baby mama. And I was going through some things. I regret it. And I'm gonna do my best to complete this successfully.
All right.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. This court gonna do, the court is gonna sentence you to 8 years deferred adjudication. Take in consideration 2023 CR 7456. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There to be no contact with the complainant. I'm going to do a felony drug court referral in custody. They should be able, today is Tuesday. They'll probably be able to see you this week. So we'll do a referral to felony drug court in custody. Probation, what's the wait time on TAP evaluations in custody? He needs the TAP evaluation. You want to address whether it should be in custody or out of custody?
Your Honor, we're respectfully requesting it be out of custody. He does have the support system. He knows that he can make that appointment as directed. He's been in custody for some time. He's had the chance to detox, and he would make any and all scheduled appointments. I don't think there's going to be any issues with him missing any appointments, because he knows that that would be a direct violation of the terms of his probation. Judge, we're respectfully requesting, due to the number of inmates currently at the Bexar County Jail reaching over 5,100 capacity, if he can please be allowed to do this outside custody.
All right, the felony drug court referral will be in custody. A TAP evaluation will be out of custody. If you miss that TAP evaluation appointment, a warrant may be issued for your arrest.
Yes, ma'am.
Due to a motion to revoke being filed.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
There's going to be partial GPS. That'll be for employment and medical appointments.
Okay.
Is your client able to afford the GPS?
Are you able to afford?
It's about $300.
Yes, I could.
All right. So it'll be GPS partial for employment and any type of medical appointments. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be regular random UAs, field visits, one time per month for 4 months, and the BIPP course. And probation, if TAP recommends inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment. And I'm gonna want 90 sober meetings in 90 days. And there should be 200 hours of community service restitution. And how old is your child? You said 19?
No, I have a 9 and a 10-year-old.
9. I'm gonna order parenting classes. Once he completes parenting classes, the court will deem the community service hours completed. And there should be no unsupervised contact with minors. So what that means is, if you want to see your children, either your parents have to be present or some adult that's approved by probation counsel. Once he is in treatment, then you can always come back and the court will reconsider.
Great, Your Honor. One quick question regarding the partial GPS, Judge. Did you want to put a time frame on that, or to see how it does, and if he's doing well, then I just approach?
We'll do until further notice and you can approach.
Okay.
But do not approach before at least 6 months.
So tomorrow now?
No, not tomorrow.
All right, yes, fair enough, Judge.
All right, probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, I would just like to say thank you for your leniency.
All right, and did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question of what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, everyone, we're gonna take our recess.